sunrise is a lot of people's favourite time to take photos. The long shadows and soft light really make street photography fun. Even the most boring of compositions can come to life and make for a nice photo. In this video, I'm at Southend seafront for a little walk around with my Fuji X100v to see what photos I can capture. The very first thing I'm doing is changing my settings from shooting both fine JPEGs and RAW to just RAWs alone. So all the photos you see in this video are simply edited from scratch with the raw Fuji file. I am shooting in aperture priority, which is how I tend to use the Fuji most of the time, and I'm shooting at f4. So first things first, just getting warmed up, taking advantage of that soft orange glow. That ice cream parlour looked quite cool, so first image of the day, not too bad. And then across the street was these palm trees, which I wasn't aware Southend could look like this, so it definitely doesn't look like the UK, and just taking advantage of that soft glow. So I did just try and take a nice simple front-on composition of these benches, but I never really liked the photo in the end, so I get some nicer ones here, I think, a little bit closer to the detail, really capturing that soft orange glow, creating something that probably wouldn't be an image if it wasn't for that light, in my opinion. And then this scene as well. The sun itself does look quite cool, but most of the time shooting into the sun is overpowering. But the glow on the condensation on the windows makes this a little bit more cinematic, so I do like these images coming up. This scene in front of me is another example of something that I probably wouldn't care for if it wasn't for that morning light. It's just a normal everyday composition, but specifically the condensated glass and the sunlight glows really nicely.
You good? Yeah, good to see you, mate.
So there's a handful of photos coming up now which I totally forgot to hit record on the GoPro, so just enjoy some of these photos with no context. But I wanted to show them anyway because some of these are some of my favourites from the day. So this is a location that I had a lot of fun with. I noticed the two people in the distance, and then this play frame with lots of colour, lots of lines, lots of framing could work for some interesting compositions, and I knew I would come away with at least 2 or 3 photos that I was happy with. I also want to shout out Dan Baker on Instagram, someone who I've been following recently, who I absolutely love the style of street photography that he has. And his style is actually what inspired these photos you're seeing now. So if you haven't seen Dan Baker's work, I can't recommend it enough. So here's a photo that I think is just weird to explain because I've got no idea why I got on the floor like I did here to take this photo, but it turned out okay. If the guy running didn't have his leg cropped out, that would make it a little bit better, but a super random photo here, but I kind of like how it turned out. So now we walked back to the colourful benches, and this time with a few more people, so I was able to get a few more photos. And there's one coming up with a guy on a green bike, which I am absolutely loving the timing of which I managed to take the second photo. So I hope you enjoy this one as much as I did. So these photos coming up are just an example of waiting for the right subject to wander into your frame. I knew the composition, the light and shadows, the colours looked good. All I needed was for some subjects to create a nice focal point. This next moment is an example of many of the random things that can happen when you're out doing street photography. But we noticed this guy was near the trees, kind of doing something. We were confused for a second, so we just striked up a conversation, and yeah, this is that conversation.
What are you doing?
Hi.
What are you up to?
Feeding, what's the name?
Squirrels.
Squirrels.
Nice, nice.
Well, what do you think I was up to?
No idea. Do you do it every day?
Mostly, yeah.
Nice.
I'm going to, what's the name? So it's definitely a love job, I'll tell you that.
Have you always done it?
I've done it for quite a while, yeah.
Well, have a good day.
Right, well, that was that. Pretty random interaction, but a guy just doing his thing. And I wouldn't have kept that interaction in the video for no reason. I actually just really liked the photo I got of him. The colours, the green, the light. It was just a nice random portrait. Just a guy feeding squirrels, and I'm just a guy taking photos. What a collaboration. you enjoyed this video and you want to know more specifically about how I use the Fujifilm X100v, then I have a full camera settings and setup video all about that, so check it out right here.